and welcome to another episode of Two Balls and a Mic. We are going to go ahead and get down and to it because San Diego soccer is not in a good place right now. San Diego Loyal and San Diego Wave drop points. San Diego Wave losing to Angel City in the midweek, traveling to Chicago and losing to Chicago. Red Stars. San Diego Loyal is still on their grand tour of America, dropping points wherever they go, a la Johnny Appleseed. They drop points against Indy 11 in probably one of the most painful and hard to watch second halves in San Diego Loyal history. Hard to watch, Mexico losing to Qatar 1-0, Mexico sucking in and out of the stands, people getting stabbed, people chanting what they shouldn't. It is an absolute mess, but they made it to the Gold Cup quarterfinals. We're going to go ahead and...
In first place
after that. New rule changes. Goalkeepers taken out of the equation in penalties. Offsides about to be...
Offside changing, yeah.
Non-existent.
I didn't hear about that goalkeeper one. What's the goalkeeper one?
Real quick, just to preview it. It's a la Dibu Martinez. You cannot talk to the opponent.
That's whack. That's whack.
FIFA rule change.
I read about the offsides one.
My name is Tony Sanchez, along with Alejandro Chiva Villaseñor. We were your broadcast team for the UPSL San Diego Inter
Yeah.
matchup against the Dolphins of Arizona.
Los Delfines.
Shout out to Los Delfines. Didn't know there were a prominent species in Arizona, the dolphins. Never seen a dolphin in my life in Arizona. But penalty kicks.
So they just can't talk shit now. They can't talk no mind games.
It's yes.
Can they still do movements and like?
Let me make sure I
Because I heard about the offsides one, which just means the whole body needs to be offsides, right?
which is dumb.
Which is really, really dumb.
dumb,
Like,
guys.
I agreed about like the hand. If the hand's offside, no offsides. But if like any part of your body is offside, like it should be.
All right.
I even think just the feet. Like if the feet are behind on the player, like cool. But the whole body, that's wild.
So season's greetings to everybody who's welcome, who's listening on their way to work the day after. Really appreciate you. But this from an article, and Eurofoot has a tweet from July 1st. The IFAB rule change have prevented goalkeepers from taunting during penalties. Goalkeepers cannot touch the goalposts and a net.
Wow.
So we're essentially being outlawed, goalkeeper kind, from praying to our deity of the post gods. This is
they absolutely did
in
that to you
line
guys.
of FIFA absolutely not taking anybody's spiritual effects, spiritual decisions into consideration.
Los chakras del poste.
Yeah, so
qué culeros, güey.
yeah, so you can't touch the post now. I don't know what is a yellow card if you do any of this, or a replay. Delay of execution of penalty, so you can't walk up to the goalkeeper, to the penalty taker. It's just like, hey, oye bobo, like whatever.
Boludo.
Che boludo. You can no longer unfairly distract the taker. Incredibly subjective. I don't know what that means. Unfairly? I don't know what that means.
What is fair then?
Look, can you flip the bird while you're waiting for him? Like, is that unfair? Is that fair? I mean, no. I think you still get a yellow card for behaviors that fail to show respect. So, okay.
Wait, what are you turning
So
this into?
these are the new rules that are preventing goalkeepers from really flourishing in the one time where it's literally them. It's us and them as the fellow goalkeeper. Like, this is the one time. So my thing is, like, this better go both ways. I better not see a player, not that they would touch the goalpost or nets. Okay, sure.
But I need like
delay the execution of the penalty.
Stutters, anything like that. Just
Sure.
straight
I mean,
walk
that's
up
already
and kick.
Yeah, that's already a rule. People break that all the time with like delayed, like the Jorginho or like little
slow
hop.
runs. Yeah, like that would need to change to make it fair.
Unfairly distract the taker. Like,
how do you feel about that? Like, just personally,
I don't know. Like, outfield players are just so weak mentally that they need this padding. That includes every other player. That's 10 other players. I don't care if you're attacking mid or defense. you are soft
Like it's
for
yeah.
needing this.
No,
rule.
no, real shit. I agree with you, and we don't often agree, like in a
You're
lot of things.
soft.
But the fact is, it's really, really difficult to miss a penalty. A lot of the times is you miss that penalty and the goalkeeper doesn't really block it, or gets the stop right. But this is ridiculous. Like to the point where players are needing this, and you know it's Dibu. Like
Yeah, no,
because of
he
Dibu in the World Cup.
really
Like,
really
changed the game.
Changed the game. So congratulations to Dibu
crazy.
Martinez for
Pinche argentino,
doing
güey.
that. Season's greetings from Escondido. Saludos de Escondido.
Saludos,
Shout out.
saludos.
You know that boy? Ismael?
Uh,
You know Ismael?
I don't know.
All right, hey, I like that. Season's
saludos,
greetings, Ismael. Cobra, I don't think Loyal could have been an MLS
We'll
team.
get to that
Look
because
to
we agree with you, man. Well, I agree with you. But yeah, those are some
sucks.
whack.
We'll talk about the
whack
offsides
rules.
rule a little bit here in a bit. No Alan Underwood, he is enjoying
Allen.
taking in the scenes at Petco Park of a team that the Padres are that old guy in the brand new Corvette, the brand new Lamborghini,
Yeah.
who's just like a fossil of a dude, 89 years old, but just cruising at 25 on the Lamborghini. Like, it's painful to watch. It's painful to watch San Diego sports in general right now. The Padres are not doing well. San Diego Loyal, they're difficult to watch because you just know what they're capable of and what's in that team and what comprises that team. And then, I mean, San Diego Wave hasn't been good for any time
So
near.
okay. So which one
Yeah.
do you want to dive in first?
Um,
Because all of these topics that we have for today are just as painful. So and essentially, who do you want to critique first? You want to
Who do you wanna
critique
critique?
Mexico, San Diego Loyal, or
Alright,
Wave?
alright, I already have it up. So San Diego Loyal go on to
Let's get it.
all
All right.
go to the road. Yes, go for it.
Yeah, so they're in an away stretch, and they're playing in the 11. They played in the 11, who were sitting 7th in the East. Now, if you're new to the USL, not saying that we're experts, but we've been following San Diego Loyal in the USL. I've gotten to know a lot of these teams. The Eastern Conference is not a tough conference, or it's not as tough as the West.
It's one of the two toughest conferences.
Oh,
the
yeah,
USL,
for sure.
one of
That's
two.
for sure. But there's hardly a lot of competition in that conference compared to the West, right? So, and on paper, San Diego Loyal should have won this game, and they were up 2-0. But let's look at the starting lineup. Eventually, they ended up tying.
Yeah,
But this is a solid lineup. You have Charlie Adams back, but you start with Koke.
yeah.
You have Camden Riley playing center back, Elijah Martin, Kyle Adams, essentially kind of like a 3-man center back.
Yeah.
And 2 of them are not natural center backs. Like Camden Riley is essentially a CDM. Elijah Martin's a fullback. Kyle Adams, your only natural center back there. You have Nick Moons.
Nick Moons.
Nick Moons, Las Lunas.
That's no
Pues me quitaste la lineup, boy. Ahí está. Charlie Adams, Joe Corona, Colin Martin, Adrian Perez, Moshavani, and Evan Conway.
Yeah, so this team has important players coming back. On paper, it should be working fine. You got Triple C there, Colin, Corona, and Charlie in the midfield. So
Guido Alves.
Guido out, and he looked injured that last game. But essentially, and we also, by the way, I know people are listening. We might have some news about the MLS and their team that's coming in, and some news happening on that end. So stick around for that. But I'm just gonna be honest. Like, one of the players that, I mean, we've been talking about him and singing his praises. You keep him in this position where he's being asked to do a little bit more defensive work, but I haven't seen that Nick Moon that supposedly is good enough for the MLS, that's supposedly good enough to be poached at any moment. Yeah, he's making those runs, he's making those plays, but I really haven't seen anything too stellar from Nick Moon as of yet. But again, difficult stretch. San Diego Loyal go over to Indianapolis, to Indy, in the orange, playing against Jack Blake's team now. No lo vi. No sé la verdad. ¿Dónde está? No sé si está dolido. No sé si dónde madres esté.
Probably hurt.
But it doesn't matter. So, San Diego Loyal end up going up eventually 2-0 in this match.
Yeah.
And then it just led to a terrible collapse. For the most part, in the first half, they were dominant for the most of the game until they decided not to. And it's one of those things where they really shot themselves in the foot, and didn't have anything to rebuttal against it. Let me check. What am I checking? San Diego Loyal.
What are you checking?
Just the stats.
Essentially, in this match alone, they did create more chances. They had more shots on target. They had 7 shots on target, which is something we haven't seen in a while. But, I mean, the last time San Diego Loyal won a game, like, off the top of your head, can you be like, when's the last time San Diego Loyal won a game? It's hard. You have to look at it, and it's against Miami.
Miami, yeah.
And we saw that at the watch party.
That was a while back.
Yeah, and exactly. So it was May 20th to be excited. So already over a month. They didn't see victory in the whole month of June. That was 4 matches. And again, in the 11, to top it off, get a red card in the 58th minute while Loyal's already up 2-0, and they end the second half playing better than San Diego Loyal.
Let's go chronologically, Chivo.
No, I'm just narrating. But yeah, so San Diego Loyal, I am narrating. They get a penalty, right?
Yeah, eventually they do get a penalty, but the first half, like if you see this first half and that's all you watch, you'd think, why are they being so critical? Why are they saying or thinking these things that the people are saying too? Because I mean, I'll give a shout out to the boy Bristow, who was pretty bold about it. You know, saying like, is it time to look at Nate and see if it's time for him to get sacked? Like, I don't know. Indy 11 came out hot. They were very physical. They were dishing out fouls left and right. But eventually, you get yourself in a situation with Toomey getting a penalty here in the 30th minute.
What a turn. Advantage being played. Moshaban.
And that's a soft call.
Soft. 100%.
Very soft.
Is it a penalty? Yes. Why? Because the referee said it was.
I love that logic of you. Honestly, if you're a referee, do you call this as a penalty?
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I mean,
okay.
I've seen this
The
not
contact
be
is
given.
there. Yeah.
I've seen this be given. So Charlie Adams, Capitan Charlie, comes back. Good to see him starting a game back into the lineup with that left foot of his, sending the goalkeeper to the right side. And despite how excited the commentator was, this puts San Diego Loyal up, right? Like everything is even, 11 on 11.
You get a right penalty. I mean, the contact is there, so the ref calls it. You take advantage of it, and Charlie Adams has your go-to penalty taker. I mean, you have Joe Corona also in the lineup, and you go with Charlie Adams still. That just shows that that's your guy. That's your guy for sure when it comes to penalties. And then you end a half, and you are winning 1-0. So there's really not much to change. There's no subs to make. There's nothing to adapt. You're dominating the game. And then you start out the second half hot as well with the great play from Toomey to a pass to Conway, as we're going to see right now. Toomey, if you give him space, he's going to punish. Gets great pass to Conway, and it's just a great finish. It's a great play overall from San Diego Loyal that you're like, wow, this is the Loyal that should be playing like this.
Evan Conway scoring, right?
Exactly.
And you know, earlier
Como
in
dice
the
nuestro
half,
compa el Pony, el avión Conway.
shout out to Pony Jimenez. Viva Match Day. We're going to go ahead and do that this Saturday. But, I mean, look, Toomey Moshabane hasn't been the attacker, hasn't been the goal scorer that we have seen him be in San Diego. He had his prime in San Diego.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I'm talking like Corey Hertzog time.
No, that Toomey was
Yeah,
top
lethal.
scorer Toomey.
Yeah, 100%.
That's what it was. And this season, I don't know if it's whether there's more attacking players that join the team that get to see the ball more. But Toomey has definitely taken a dip for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely taking a step back. And you know what? I think everybody realized that except for maybe Nate. Again, I'm not here to argue against the head coach that studied and this and this and this. But from my point of view, vantage, I see a lot of Toomey creating and filling that role where maybe Guido's not there, and Guido can give you that, gives you shots from outside.
Yeah.
Toomey likes to dribble, right? Give him that space in that center forward, center attacking mid role, right? Because if you have him up top and you have him trying to score and trying to dribble around three people, what ends up happening, same thing will happen with Damas in the second half. He's going to start dribbling into 4 people, thinking that there's some way he can do it. He can't. You know what? He got himself a penalty. He earned himself that assist. gets a second assist there with that Conway play. But again, credit where credit's due, right? Like it's a really good play, really good vision. Toomey gets this ball, essentially at midfield.
Yeah.
Starts this play.
That's what happens when you give him space.
Yeah,
Like
and this is what I'm saying. This area, right? This is his area where he can be a center forward, center attacking mid. He has that. You have Evan Conway pulling away defenders, and you still have to take care of Nick Moon over on this side. You got to give him that respect. Collier, sure, like he has his brilliance here and there, but yeah. So Toomey does the right thing, just completely fools the left side of the Indy squad, sees that window in between 4 players.
It's a hard pass to make for sure, and I think a lot of the defenders think, oh, he's gonna open this wide to Nick Moon, and they're gonna try to cross it just like how they always do. And Toomey outsmarts them here. He says, you're gonna give me this space, I'm gonna take advantage of it. Gets a beautiful through ball to Conway, and he has a great finish as well. That first touch from Evan Conway is brilliant. It's smart. It's dope. Like that's literally the Evan Conway you want to have. He sees the small space, and that connection that they had is something that you want to see every single game. And we haven't seen it every single game. It's rare when we get to see it.
And again, all praises to San Diego Loyal because right now they're keeping the clean sheet. They're taking it to Indy 11 away. In the second half, looks to be in control. Evan Conway slides that ball across the body, doesn't smash it, doesn't try to break the hands of the goal, just smartly just rolls it under. It's a goal every time. Good on you, Evan Conway, for coming back on. And then the game ended, and San Diego Loyal win 2-0. Come back with 3 points.
And there was a red card.
So then there was more time to be had. But here's the thing with San Diego is that one of two things: you either get complacent and you start going a little bit back and just park the bus and play defensively and want to keep that lead, which ended up happening. 1, 2. On the other side of things, you still have opportunities that you just don't take. And those opportunities, honestly, is what's killing San Diego Loyal. Because, yeah, if they score 2 and they tie it 2-2, guess what? You probably should have scored or done something in some of the opportunities because you were still being attacking. You were still being offensive here. You see the red card here, last man. Sure, no question here. Adrian Perez is being involved, praying to whatever he's praying, number 77 there, just unbelievably doesn't understand how that's a red card. But, yeah, that's a red card, bud.
He was already on a yellow card, too. So
100%. You got substitutions here on a set piece. Blake Bodley comes in for Adrian Perez. Then you have Elijah Martin right there, who was already on. Charlie Adams. And so, yeah, the graphics messed up there. But, yeah, Blake Bodley goes in.
yeah.
Then Ronaldo comes in.
So it's not necessarily... was 4 minutes after the substitution, which... Son hombre por hombre.
Yeah, 100%.
They're just fresh legs in the field. Like, you're not changing tactics yet.
I wouldn't even say, oh, they're going defensive here because
they're not. They're really not. Yeah,
you're going Ronaldo. You put Ronaldo there so you can put that third goal in there and just put a nice ribbon on it. Like that's his job here. Job done for Evan Conway. Everybody else.
You look at it, you're up 2-0 with an extra man. 30 minutes left in the game. Like this should be a wrap. It really should be. But then Loyal start getting cocky. They start making stupid plays, and you can't really see it in this one. But essentially in this play, Coque Vegas is a goal kick, passes it short to Kyle Adams. Colin Martin is that center defensive mid, and he's in between 4 players right there. Kyle Adams has no reason to pass the ball into this half moon into Colin Martin. You're essentially putting him in a very tough situation there against 4 people, where you could just open it wide to Elijah Martin, or you can do something else. He passes it to Colin Martin. Colin Martin has to pass it back to Kyle Adams, which again another mistake, because you're putting it on his right foot. He's a lefty.
Yeah,
give him the pass a little wider to his left so he can just clear it out from the first touch. You see this, you put it on his right foot, and essentially he has to change it to his left. He has to touch it with the outside of his foot, put it on his left so he can clear that out. Granted, he should have just kicked that out with his right foot from the start. But you messing up by giving the ball to Martin there. He messed up by passing it back, jeopardizing everything, and essentially you had to foul Sante. which
you
we
can.
already know Asante. He's quick. He's agile. He's going to pressure. He's going to high press. It's a stupid penalty to give away.
Yeah. So then, penalty does come in, playing a man down, and yep, you give him that hope, give him that chance. 2-1, momentum starts shifting.
And it's not what you want to give him. You don't want to give him any, like you already.
Any hope.
Yeah, you already have the foot on the throat.
And right now, guess what? 66 minutes, 2-1. They are still a man down.
Yeah.
End this.
But,
Finiquítalo.
but what does freaking Nate Miller do? He takes out Tumi Moshubani and puts Grant Stoneman.
So that's that defensive move, right?
Like
so
that's switching to a 4-back line, and I don't necessarily understand changing the tactics with 20 minutes left in the game. Like you still have a man up. If you really want to solidify that 3-back line, then take out one of your wing backs or Camden Riley, put Stoneman in there, and have 2 solid center backs, but still keep the 3-back line. Like you're still going to be defensive. You're still going to be good. There's no need to take out an attacking player.
And you know what? They didn't even look like they had an extra defensive player there. Because again, right after you have another chance here by Indy 11 and goes right by Coque Vegas. And this is what I'm talking about here, right? So you have to take those opportunities that you have. You have a chance here. You have 1, 2, 3 people who are about to touch the box. You have 2 other teammates that are onside because of that player that's on the
small box.
The small box. Take the option. You know what? You take this guy out, fantastic. But then have a plan. Have a plan, man. Like you should either slide it down or whatever. Opportune placement, good positioning by the center back there. But I mean,
but no, it's like you said earlier. You have to take advantage of those chances, and that ended up biting San Diego Loyo in the ass in this game.
And then speaking of chances here, right? So then Ronaldo Damas right here is trying to go between 4 players. Bato.
¿A dónde, güey?
If you can't, you can't. It's going to be difficult. You want that play, sure. First of all. Second of all, the only other player in this screenshot right now, and it's, Collier. I'd say more than 1/3, is Collier, right?
Yeah, like nobody's up there to help.
Where's the midfield? This was a play that Ronaldo did kind of high press, but use your teammates. You have this straight line of defenders. They're standing in a line. There's no dynamic aspect to these formations, and you all get caught off from that play in a chance that almost goes in. Coque Vega saves you on this one. Fantastic save.
Like there's no reason for a through ball like that.
There's no reason for
the whole back line.
This ball that has Ronaldo's name on it to maybe, you know what, try something with Collier. If you're going to go ahead and lose the ball, fine, you lost the ball. But then everybody else just kind of stands around. Where's that pressure? Put some pressure on it. Like, don't think again.
It's sad, man.
Not 2-0 anymore. It's 2-1. And guess what? They have a man less. You have more people to cover grass and stuff. Mm-hmm. Cover the grass and stuff.
Like, it just seemed like the players gave up after that first goal. Like, there's no sense of high pressing. There's no sense of, try to get the ball.
You guys have an extra why invite them? Why let them come to you? It's not like you are man down and you're letting them come in, giving them the false sense of hope, waiting for that mistake. You get the mistake, counterattack. You are in the driver's seat. You've been in the driver's seat for 2-0. You've now 2-1. Get on it. This pass has not an excuse to have gone through the entire San Diego loyal
Granted,
team.
it's a great fucking pass.
It's a great pass.
But
great
there's
vision.
no need. Like, where are the center midfielders? Why is the back line, like, in shambles here? Blake Bodley, too high up, can't keep his mark. Like, there is no reason for this to go through.
Elijah coming on down as that in that center back position almost. Like, I don't know who's who. Desperation clearance here. Again,
do you sometimes feel in the San Diego Loyal games where you don't even know who's playing what in the back line?
They just make it up.
It happens a lot where we know what it is, but then you're just second guessing. Like, wait, is Elijah Martin a left back or is he playing center back? Or what is he doing?
And we're not questioning
and it's this weird transitioning. Oh, we're in attack. We're switching to this transition to 2 center backs and whatever. Like,
we understand that. That's basic.
it just seems so unnecessary. But again, chances. Speaking of chances,
Speaking
right?
of chances here, so yeah, so this ball, very well anticipated there, and you get this pass here. You're on sides. You have another player. You have a friend there. You're getting swarmed. Somebody move again. It's only Collier, and then you have Moon back all the way there behind the referee, just
Yeah.
kind of taking in the scenery. Let's help him out because he's trying to work something in. He goes down. He's still fighting for the ball, but because of that, gets himself into trouble. Gets a yellow card. I hate what
And Damas will be shown a yellow card.
hate what the announcer says.
Immediately, Quinn. Those guys have played a lot against each other in the Western
that.
Conference over the years. Immediately offered his hand up to.
I like the way. I
This-
mean, it's a foul that's unnecessary, but I love the effort. It's just I'm gonna pester and chase every ball up.
Pester and chase every ball that you lost that you didn't need to lose. Okay, that's phrase that you don't need. All right, that's a backwards way of thinking. You are literally in a lion's den with 4 people. You have one outlet. You have 2 outlets, right? Try to make it through solid mass, solid chunks. La carne de burro no es transparente. You
Yeah.
can't just go through it. Like,
No, and here's another thing, right? You're probably the fastest player on that field. You can literally just run towards the corner and try to kill time.
something.
Like something. You don't have to
Pass it
run through
back.
4 players.
Pass
Keep
it
the
back.
possession. There's
You're
no
winning.
need. There's no exactly. There's no
fucking
need to
winning.
just try to run through 4 people when you can just pass the ball around, tire them out, and essentially seal the deal. But it's something about San Diego Loyal just thinking, hey man, like let's give this fucking lead away because
And guess what? The criticism was there going to be like, oh, you know, but San Diego level, they never stopped fighting. They kept moving forward. They didn't park the bus. Okay, sure, make them. There's 4 to your 1, to their 1. 3 options, my guy. You have Nick Moon needs a confidence boost. Sure, you can kick it out wide, give Blake Bodley all that space to do what he has done and score a goal in that same position.
Yeah.
You have Ronaldo who's asking for the fucking ball, who's clearly marked. I don't know what he's doing asking for the ball. Sure, pull the mark. But then if you listen and put your head up to your right, you have another option. What does he do? He takes right there, but you got to finish those. Ronaldo, you got to finish those. Ay, güey.
you really do. Por eso se quiebran, güey.
Shit, now.
Yeah, no, definitely. And
Gotta finish
I mean,
those.
you wonder if Ronaldo's even 100% fit after that injury.
Quien
But
sabe?
still, if you're on the field, you're playing, you have to make those. You're the star striker that's here to replace Kyle Vassell, the top scorer last season for the team.
And
you
Thomas
better
Amaro.
make those.
Yeah.
Like the hype was there when they signed you. Shit, we got in trouble for fucking announcing you. You better fucking make those.
Okay, making us look bad.
Come on, dude.
Like, again, devil's advocate, it's a good save. Jacobian,
Sí,
like,
sí, sí.
like he closed the angles very
Nah,
well.
but come on, dude. Like,
But you have, and that's what I'm saying. Evan Conway in the same situation. You know what he did? He touched there and then he slotted it between the legs.
Wait.
Like there's so much space. He tries to just smack it in one area on the ground. More than likely, he's gonna put a foot there.
and then what happened after all this? Counterattack.
Counterattack.
Why are you getting counterattack against 10 men?
Unacceptable, embarrassing,
Like, how are you getting countered
childish.
against 10 men?
Don't catch me saying that I would catch any of these fucking people on my own if I was a last center back on San Diego Loyal. There's no way. We should not be speaking as non-professionals, but as a casual soccer viewer may probably know, that's not a good thing to do when you're a man up. You are
You
getting
had all your
attacked
players up?
3-1. But Chiva, we're attacking. We're trying to seal the deal. Like, what do you want, Chiva? Do you want me to attack? Do you want me to defend? I can't please you.
No.
There's no pleasing
Play
you.
your game. There's no need to risk all your center backs up. Like, there's no need for that. There's 12 minutes left. Like, you can play your game with your midfield and attacking players on top. Again, I didn't like the Grant Stoneman substitution for Tumi Moshabani. I really didn't like that move. But like,
And then,
It's just so frustrating.
You're losing the mark. Look, like, there's 3 versus 3, all right? I think, you know what? Elijah has that middle covered. He has support. He's supporting. My boy gets turned around. Kyle Adams, you know what?
En su
We'll
propio
get there.
modo, yeah.
We'll get there. Pero mi amigazo aquí, Stoneman, ¿verdad?
Bien perdido, güey.
Stoneman, what are you doing?
Bien perdido.
Why are you marking
vato.
Elijah? Why are you marking your own dude? When clearly you are seeing here there is somebody in front of you to your left that you haven't seen go across your screen. He's probably behind you. He didn't just stop at midfield, but I'll let you take it. Like, I'll let you take it. Take it.
How different would this defense have looked with Evie still in?
Yeah, that's just that threw all the plans to the window for this team.
No,
and you
no
know what?
other center back sign, nothing like.
No loans, no nothing.
So,
This is
in
you
a
get
way,
what you get, and
Nate
you don't throw a fit.
Nate is trusting with what he has, and you expect for him to deliver. This is absurd. Like, I agree with the boy Bristow. At one point, do you say, "Hey, Nate's not cutting it. We gotta cut Nate." At what point do you start? I mean, fans are already calling for his head right now. They're already calling to get sacked. Like, he's on thin ice right now. Will the team actually get rid of him? I don't think so.
I don't think so. Like, I
don't think
really
so.
do not think so.
I don't think Loyal's in a position where anyone would be interested in coming to coach this San Diego Loyal team right now. Would Landon step down and say, "Hey, you know what? Let me take over"? No.
This is none of this is gonna happen. Look, shout out to Max Bristow having a podcast with the boy Dylan. You can check it out.
Bums Breakdown.
Bums Breakdown. Check it out. But questions. This is quote questions have to start being asked about Nate Miller as head coach. 0 wins in our last 6. 4 points from a possible 18, dropping a 2-lead goal with a team with 10 men at home, and awesome. It just isn't good enough.
And I love this because we've sometimes said a lot of San Diego Loyal fans are very, well, you know, the team is still trying and this and like we're still playing good. We're just not getting the result. No,
Then you're
like
enjoying
this.
yourself.
Be
then you are
critical.
enjoying yourself.
Max
you must
Bristow,
love
fucking
this.
shout out, man, because
You
you're being
must be
critical,
loving
and as
it.
fans of this
And
team,
know
you
what?
must be
Yeah.
critical.
And guess what? If you think we're being negative, this is just the way it is. Like, this is the way it is, and it has been here in San Diego. It's been miserable. But you know what? If you
Yeah.
want to be that pitter-patty, like, okay, you're enjoying yourself, and you're enjoying a fantastic season of San Diego Loyal action. San Diego Loyal
That's the thing.
is
If
doing
your
exactly
if the team
what
is
you
not
want.
going to perform, we're going to be critical, and we've been doing this for 3 years already. Like, I don't want to hear you guys can't be so negative about this. Like, no. This is the time to be negative about this.
This is the time to be negative.
0 wins in 6 games. No wins in June.
But Chiva, they're traveling across the world.
That
They're
doesn't
the most,
matter. All the teams are traveling. All the teams have away stretches. Yeah, you have the most miles and whatever. Get over it. It's like you said. You get what you get and you don't throw a fit.
San Diego Loyal sitting at 7th, 24 points, still in the playoff picture.
Granted, we said, and Alan agreed, if San Diego Loyal can stay in the top 8 by the end of this away stretch, by the end of this tough schedule they have, they're still in a good position to make a fight for playoffs or even maybe come back and get the top 4 seeding. So it's cutting short. They play Hartford this Saturday. Now, if you don't
Loyal's
get
playing
a
like the way
win against the last place of the Eastern Conference, who only have 2 wins, currently tied 1-1 against Loudoun United right now. If you don't get Loudoun, me vale verga ahorita, güey. If you don't get a win against this team
the goal they
on
got
Saturday,
Yeah.
oh, that's right. Yeah, they got a penalty. And my bad. And yeah.
Aiden Quinn, we know him well. Fantastic. Good job. You should have had him.
So they drop points and look at Nate's reaction. Like his post game, he's just if you want to look for it on Twitter real quick.
Yeah, hold on.
You already have it. I know you did.
My gosh.
Like he's like, you're fucking kidding me.
I get it. I get it, Nate. I get it. I feel it. I understand it. I understand where that's coming from. But guess what? you still in the 83rd minute by the time the ball's back at half point. Whatever the referee
You
adds,
still have a man up.
still have a man up. How about less and more like you still have time. Points on the road are great. Ties are great. Coming back positive. You came back positive. But you're letting these opportunities slide. And this is what we saw with the San Diego Loyal year 1 and 2, where you weren't lethal where you needed to. You weren't doing what you're supposed to be doing away where you had the game in hand. We've seen heartbreak. We've seen... But losing to, like, in this way is just something else.
I'm just going to point out,
something else.
I got the 2-2 score right on the prediction.
Estúpido.
So there are some positives through all this. But yeah, San Diego Loyal play Hartford this Saturday at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
We are going to
Viva
have
Match
a
Day.
Viva Match Day. So tune in if you
Shout
want better commentary than whatever Hartford has to offer. But let's hear from Nate Miller if you haven't already. I mean, a lot of people
They got my boy Nate Miller in the boiler room of the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all you need to
That's all
hear.
you need to know. Hey, how's it been, Nate, on this last road stretch?
Thank you, Nate.
I mean, what is your like? Honestly, you have this game, and you see that first goal go in. It's going to be 2-1, and what goes through your mind? Hey, I get it, Nate. Like I understand it. You know what, San Diego's not in a good spot right now. They could be doing a little bit more. Ronaldo misses that chance. What was your first thought? I know. Elijah puts his foot down. Old trusty Elijah. Penalty goes in. Double. I mean,
ow.
I get it, Nate. Then they pan you over. You put your hand in your face in your hands, and you're like, oh man, what's going on? And the camera caught you. Any words?
I hear the rest of his words. That's all you needed. Essentially, Nate Miller just agrees with everything we just said.
Let's. Hey, San Diego Wave. Did you watch their game? Mexico's not doing so well. The guy got stabbed in the stands, bro. Terrible. Nate. All right, let's hear what Nate has to say. This is what happens when you upset us in a soccer sense.
I mean, I'm infuriated. I'm extremely frustrated.
Can we clip that and just have it as a sound?
So many good things away from home to go up 2-0. And then we were just extremely naive at the back, and we made mistakes that we've made before.
Honesty. Good.
And we're
Mistakes that we've made before.
100% agree.
Yeah. Good. Honesty.
You better chew your players' ass at training.
everything we can to mitigate those. It's just
Like
extremely
that ride
frustrating to see
home,
them
that
come up
flight
again.
home, better be quiet.
Just mistakes we don't need to make, especially up a man. We could have been so much better in so many areas. So I'm just extremely frustrated.
A lot of difficult questions. What do you say to the group after this week, 2 weeks?
Yeah,
right.
well, I mean, it's not just what you say. You know, we've had a lot of conversations and a lot of talk. We have to
Time for talking is over, Nate.
do it on the
I want me, Nate. You ever watch that sketch where it's Barack Obama and he has an anger translator? Like, my people, we're gonna, and then the anger translator is like, what he actually meant is that you motherfucker. Like I feel like
You need that, Nate. You need
needs
Nate
that
Miller,
right now.
yeah.
It's not just what you say. You know, we've had a lot of conversations and
And I'm done having conversations with this group apparently because they can't get their shit together.
a lot of talk. We have to do it on the field. We got to do it when it's hard.
It's not just being pretty at training and making it work at training and making me happy because you guys are doing it well. It's actually when the lights turn on, it's fucking go time.
Got to do it when not play out of any fear. Play out of
You guys are playing like pussies.
courage. Play out of belief.
These are my words, by the way. This is Nate. what I assume Nate is actually feeling. Shout out to the entire Aristocrat fan community. You ever watch the Aristocats? It's a really good
great
movie.
movie.
Just make really good decisions on the field. So
You guys suck at making decisions on the field.
giving them some time, but I think, yeah, this is a painful time to go through right now.
Shit
We're
sucks.
trying, and
There you go.
I'm going to keep trying to find the right solutions.
I don't know what the fuck
keep
I'm doing.
trying. Oh man.
Oh, no.
Oh man.
No, he's trying. And
I don't know. I don't know what's going on in the loyal sphere, in the loyal cinematic universe. These players look flat. Loyal's been flat for
Yeah.
a while,
San Diego has been flat.
100%. And I think
Los Padres,
Hartford-
Wave, Loyal.
they play Hartford.
Wait,
If
todos
you don't-
andan valiendo
I agree.
madre.
I agree. If you
The
don't,
Legion won.
yes, they did. Shout out
San
rugby.
Diego.
But
Hasta
I
Albion
mean, look,
empató, ¿no?
if it's San Diego Inter lost.
Ah, verga, fue
This is where
fucking tough
if
weekend.
what's what if you lose
Tough
against
weekend.
Hartford, like
Oh boy, then you can question Nate's
if you
job.
lose in a tie against Hartford,
on paper, it's like, oh, you got.
if you lose in a tie like you kind of did here, because this is the thing, this team just did the opposite to San Antonio. That's
With the
who
extra
these people
man,
are.
yeah.
That's who these people are. Like it's just kind of like I don't know, man. Like it's sad.
Well, let's
San
talk
Diego
about
Loyal's
something more sad.
saddening me. All right.
San Diego Wave
Oh, puta madre. All right.
had a Challenge Cup game on Wednesday against Angel City after losing to them at home in what was their biggest game of the season,
Again.
and they lost 2-1 again. And to briefly talk about the Challenge Cup, San Diego Wave is pretty much out.
Yeah, so in that sense, right? Let me see. Los Angeles versus, this is painful to type, San Diego, because again, Los Angeles best San Diego. Look at that. NWLS. Let me just make sure I get the right ones. Cuatro días, yep. Look,
Like-
San Diego Wave has a lot of players representing San Diego in the World Cup.
What is it,
I'm happy about that.
four
Fantastic.
players.
Sophia Jakobsen. You have Alex Morgan, Naomi Girma for the U.S. You have
five
Emily
players, five
Emily Van
players.
Egmond, who just got announced today.
5 starters.
5 starters, 100%. ¿Quién más? Me falta one. Kaylin Sheridan.
Yeah.
Kaylin Sheridan, obviously. So that's very
Who's the
important players.
biggest? Who's the biggest one that hurts? Alex Morgan or Sheridan?
Look, I was talking with somebody about like, like what is missing with the San
Van
Diego team?
Egmond? I want to say Van Egmond.
And they were like, man, if we can only have 2022 Alex Morgan. So 2022 Alex Morgan wasn't much different than this Alex Morgan. She just got more penalties.
Ooh,
It really hasn't been
Yeah.
this. It's
that's a good take.
it hasn't really
Very
been
good
Alex
take,
Morgan's
yeah.
team since she got here. Like she's always been thrown in the. She got thrown in the spotlight in season 1 because she's the biggest star. She got 7 penalties.
4 of
You still have to
all
score all
those
those penalties. I get it.
goals were in the first game.
But because
Like
of
2
this,
penalties.
you have a lineup that's lacking
Granted,
in talent,
it's a Challenge Cup game,
lacking
and you're
in
going to do rotations.
quality.
But so you're
You
going to do
s-
rotations regardless.
You signed 3 players, essentially practice squad players, because you need depth, and that's at the point where we're at. And I would think that there's talent to be had. I think if you go over and pluck somebody from the national teams right now, before maybe not in the World Cup, or some of the active players in Mexico, you can get some good, decent talent from anywhere else onto the squad. So you have in goal, Yanez, obviously, because Sheridan's out. DeMarco's playing Porgar, who has been there, Poe's been there.
This is essentially a back line that has never played together on a game, official game. So you have Poe,
yes.
you have DeMarco, you have Shorts, and Mia Yao. So essentially
Yes.
a brand new back line. I think since the start of San Diego Wave, this is the newest back line they've ever had.
And Mia did a fantastic goal line
She
clearance, so it was
did.
great. Belle Breedy, Mackenzie Doniak, Korniak, who didn't make the World Cup. So you have somebody of a pedigree that was considered in that midfield.
And here's the thing with Doniak, right? You're playing her as a center mid, center attacking mid position, where normally you have her as a winger or as the natural striker. Breedy, who also can play you in different positions, and you have Taylor Korniak, who essentially in this midfield, you don't have a defensive mid. And if that's what you're going to be asking of Korniak or Doniak or Breed, these are all offensive players. So you're running out of options here of who you can play. You have to give Calaprico time to rest. You have to give other players time to rest as well. So this is essentially the best options you have. You have Melanie Barcenas making her
15-year-old.
debut, which was the biggest thing that happened in this game.
Yeah.
Announced
Got
from the San Diego
celebrated like
Wave.
a win.
Yeah, exactly. Who didn't do anything, by the
Yeah.
way. Didn't had a couple dribbles. But again,
yeah.
she's 15.
Amira
granted.
Ali and Kelsey Turnbull.
Kelsey Turnbull coming back from injury.
Yes.
And you need to see
and
more
from
of Turnbull.
sponsorships. A bunch of sponsorships online. Congratulations
yeah.
to you.
Making money off of that.
But yeah, Amira Ali and Barcenas, right? Amira Ali is a fitness thing because
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with her. She was churning it up in preseason. She started the year very well. She stopped being a starter, and she's always had fitness issues. She's had a couple times where
Started at a peak. And
yeah,
this
she
season's
can't
going down.
she can't hold the 90 right now at that level, right? And you know what? Barcenas, she's 15. Jaden Shaw, whenever she plays, she's very young. They don't have the stamina. They're not athletically developed enough to go up against the best of the very best because guess what? NWSL is the best of the very best. Sure, you have others in England. You have other leagues. You have La Liga MX Femenil. But, like, honestly, the structure of these 12 teams in this NWSL is pretty good. The competition is pretty good. The teams are pretty good. If you don't have the team, and you're a team that relies on individual talents of Jaden Shaw, Morgan, and half of those plays you need a Korniak to receive a goal kick from Sheridan to give a header over to one of those players and make something happen. This team is just broken everywhere. Like it's just fractured. And you can tell in this first couple of minutes immediately because Angel City was just dominating from the get-go.
Fastest goal in a Challenge Cup, if I'm not mistaken. A minute and 17 seconds in. It was officially the fastest goal in the Challenge Cup, in Challenge Cup history.
And just like that, 1-0. Set pieces.
Essentially, Korniak
pieces.
gets here, but it's a terrible clearance. And that's the problem with having Taylor Korniak. She's not a defensive player. And
Make her one. Might as well.
shape her into one.
Might as well. I was talking to a couple people. Might as well. What are you doing? She's getting carded like a defender anyways. She's making the fouls that a defender would make already.
At this point, that's when you... I'm not saying the coaching is there, but at this point, you want to have the coaching to be able to shape her into a more defensive player.
I don't understand what the thought process is to have this team be set up for success, for wins. And this isn't me not questioning anything other than the team that I am seeing in front of me.
Yep.
The team that's here is just not talented enough.
No, it's
They
not.
do not have
Giannis,
what it has to take.
She's a good shot blocker, but she makes terrible decisions. Like in this goal, there's no reason for you to open yourself out wide and then cut your run to get back in the middle. Look at this. Like, there's the cross. There's no reason to follow it. Follow your line. Follow your goal. Cover your first post.
That's what you're told as a goalkeeper. Si vas a salir, if you're going to come out, come out.
Yeah, but
Take
there's
that
no
decision.
reason to
Don't
follow the
pitter-patter.
ball towards the player. Cover
That
your
was
goal.
painful. That was painful.
Cover your goal. And not because essentially you left your whole goal vulnerable. And that happens.
A couple minutes before that, actually, there was a play that, again, Angel City was dominating in the first half. There was a cross, and it was easy. One of those balls that just rolls out and stops at the corner. Defender gets it and starts to play. They just walked to it and lost it because they weren't pressing anything, and they lost it and almost gave up another goal in that situation. So,
Painful.
Pain.
And you were at the watch party for this, right?
Yeah, so it was shout out to Craig Elston. It was his birthday. Happy birthday, Craig. And man, like, at least, in the game this last weekend, you kind of had a goal. It was taken away. But in this first half, like, it looked like it was going to be 5-0. It looked like it was going to be 5-0. Clearly outmatched by LA. They've had an answer to every single one of your questions this entire season, like most of the league. there is no questions being asked by this midfield or offensive third, last offensive third. Nothing. And you were banking on this team having a good defense. If you don't have that,
It's
What do you
not
have?
it's not good, and if literally your whole defense is Naomi Girma and Caitlin Sheridan, then you there's a problem there as well. Granted, you get one back off
Yeah.
a corner kick.
and these shots from long range,
They've worked out.
They've been working. Fantastic strike here with the left. Kalapriko is. I really like the way she plays. But
That-
again,
that's
you
what
can't
you
have
brought
her
her
out all the
in.
time.
You brought her in for essentially make differences. And are you a fan of the huddles that these teams are making after goals?
It's very interesting. But you know what? It's one of those
I
things
fuck
where it's
with
like good, regroup, talk to each
Yeah.
other, maybe go to regroup with your coach. But hey, I'm all for it. Like,
As
It'd be
long as
pretty
it's
good.
not wasting too much time.
yeah, and I feel like sometimes
regroup while they're
yeah.
celebrating, I guess, but don't waste a whole minute of it doing that. But essentially, San Diego Wave falls short.
in that one. But then San Diego Wave traveled to Chicago.
Granted, not easy
Pain.
to do,
Pain.
traveling and then traveling to Chicago. But again, this is a game now for the league game, and
yeah.
Chicago again, last place in the league. Mm-hmm. You on paper you have to win this. But
Yes.
you ask any other person, the NWSO is a very competitive league.
Yes.
Doesn't matter what place the
12
team is
teams.
in.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Like you have to win this game. You have to at least get a point out of this game.
Kaylee Real makes an appearance here, but essentially the back line, along with Westfall, is the changes here. Daughtry Howard, a player that Casey actually likes. She hasn't been fit, but now she's
Coming
out there.
back, yeah.
Calaprico
Calaprico,
starting, and
It's a more solid center midfield now.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's
you
a
have
little bit more
Calaprico to
balanced.
hold that defensive side of the midfield. You have Taylor Korniak, who's probably now going to get more freedom up on top. You have Mackenzie Doniak, Jaden Shaw, and Rachel Hill. All three players that can cause damage. Doniak, we've seen it from time to time. Jaden Shaw, the best player this season for San Diego Wave.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Rachel Hill, who's also made her mark.
yeah, and so Rachel Hill, is a player that's been in this league for a while. She felt a little slighted earlier. We got some wind of that she felt like, oh, I got to prove to my contemporaries who the fuck I am, and she has a play here at the beginning that hits the post.
Well, you're not doing a good job, Rachel.
Chicago hits the post. Eventually, Doniak goes in, and there's a play that gives San Diego the lead. But
Oh, happy 4th of July.
happy 3rd of July.
Third.
But yeah, so I mean, it's one of those things where it's frustrating seeing no offense not really happening, and then when you do have it, you have this opportunity here
But
that
how
they build.
does this goal happen? It's using Taylor Korniak on the offensive side, and that's why there's the reasoning. Okay, we need to have her because
We need
all
to
of our
have two
chances
of her.
are going to come off a header off her, and then something's gonna happen.
Yeah, so, yeah, like something's gonna happen in the box.
And that they've done that multiple times in the last 2 seasons where Korniak peina la pelota, then a player gets it and they cross it. Unfortunately, in this time, Taylor Korniak needs to make sure that she's staying on sides. She was barely off sides. Granted, with the new rules, this would have been a
That
goal.
would have been a goal. That would have been a goal. New rules coming in by FIFA.
This would have been a goal with the new rules.
Would have been a goal. No
which
need
I
for
don't
VAR.
like.
I don't
Like
like
she
it
was
either.
offsides.
Yeah.
And then essentially, this happens, and it's a bullet of a cross. Uno de
Yeah.
esos de que, a ver a quién encuentro.
Yeah, it's a
But-
heat-seeking missile.
But Ella Stevens makes a good run off the ball. The defender stayed asleep. As a center back, you have to follow the striker.
And you have to be in front of him. Always.
Exactly.
Always
And
be in
they
front of
stayed
him.
asleep here. Look, they're like, okay, as long as we're marking our positioning. Nope. Yep. You didn't follow her.
Yeah.
She caught you sleeping. And that's right before halftime. And that's just demoralizing as a team. When you're essentially to get a goal taken away, you're not playing the worst game. But then you just get scored on. And then it just kind of feels like, oh, well, here comes another loss.
And again, I have no faith in San Diego coming back from any deficit, 1-0, 2-0, 2-1. Like I have no hope until proven otherwise for either of these San Diego teams to hold a freaking lead, to get a lead in some cases. San Diego Wave now dropped down into 6th place. Boom. Drop down here to 6th place. On top, you know what? North Carolina Courage. All right, here we go.
Granted, you're
Portland Thorns.
6
All right.
points from first place still.
Not the worst.
So you just need a hot run.
Yeah.
At this point, this is how this league
You
plays
need a
out.
tie.
This league is very similar to Liga MX, which is a great segue into Liga MX for a little bit, where you need to end on a hot run to maybe potentially cause damage and win a championship. If you end on a 3-win run or 4-win run, you have a chance of making it at the top seeding, and you're gonna go into the playoffs on a great level. Como mis chivitas, güey. But yeah, San Diego Wave lose this game against Chicago, and they play Saturday here at home against Washington Spirit at 7 p.m. Saturday, July 8th.
Tus Chivas ganaron. Nuestras Chivas ganaron
Cállate.
1 minute ago.
Cállate.
Chivas won. 2-1.
Cállate, le ganamos a León para empezar.
Papi, LAFC couldn't take León. Guess who took down the line, homie?
Jonathan Yael Padilla
Bah.
Sandoval. ¿Quién es ese güey?
Bah.
¿Quién es ese güey?
Bah.
Padilla. Oh, creo que es el delantero nuevo que agarraron. Cool. Anyways. A huevo, las Chivas ganaron, perro.
Wow.
Woo.
Wow.
Woo. Wow. Chicken wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
cuetas.
San Diego Wave needs to figure it out. San Diego Loyal needs to figure it out. The Padres need to figure themselves out. San Diego needs to sort themselves out. Got some wind of some potential devastating news for what's been happening in this great city as of late, 3 years as of late. So hopefully that's not true. And if it is, I guess we'll talk about it when it happens. But you guys are all fantastic individuals, and I hope that we continue everything that we're doing through whatever San Diego soccer looks like.
Ganaron las Chivas. Ganaron las Chivas.
All right, so Liga MX started. Anything specific that... wow.
It's the start of the league, and it's important to keep an eye on this team, especially with the Leagues Cup, right? If you're a fan of MLS, which is coming to San Diego, you want to make sure you're keeping track of these teams. But again, a lot of these teams get a hot run at the start, and then they just collapse towards the end. Notable mentions, Cholos giving up a last-minute goal against Pumas and losing 3-2. Las Chivitas. Mis Chivitas, they literally broke my heart the last time I saw them play.
You saw them live.
And yeah. So good for them to get a win against León. This is a team that can stay competitive in this league and could make a potential run for a title again. They brought in the biggest news, Guti. So Eddie Gutierrez is a player that played for PSV in Netherlands, in the championship-winning team PSV in Netherlands. Occasional starter. He got a lot of minutes. He would start a lot of the games, and essentially decided to come back to Mexico, which is ideally not what you want to see from the players that are playing in Europe. Like, you don't want to see them returning when they're in their prime.
Yeah, it just means they weren't good enough. And it seems like Mexican players haven't been good enough for a while.
Which is alarming, right? Because then you see
time,
these U.S. players moving.
That's why we lose against
way.
Qatar. Well, perdemos contra Qatar.
So yeah, so we can talk about like Liga MX no hay tanto de qué hablar. It's the start of the league. Pero las Chivitas ganaron, which is all that matters. 3 points. I don't know. Are you gonna keep up with Liga MX this season?
I might
try.
I'm gonna try.
At least with Chivas.
I'll try.
We'll go to some Cholos games this season.
We'll go to Cholo games. But yeah, this is what it looks like right here. Jornada 1. Not a lot of teams, as I remember.
América lost, pero acabaron de agarrar a Quiñones.
Acaban de agarrar a Mark Cruz from San Diego
sí,
Inter.
güey, sí, güey, Mark
From San Diego Inter, shout out.
No, güey, al que se tragan al de Delfines. ¿Cómo se llama el güey? El
Omar, no, Brian
Medina.
Brian
Sí, es
Medina.
un
Shout out
crack.
Brian Medina.
Medina es un crack.
Crack.
But yeah, this was Liga MX this season. It's the start. It started super quick. Like, literally, the final was like a month ago.
That's crazy. Shout out Cesar H. Football, Caesar. You're going to be...
Follow him. Follow
Gonna be
him on
working.
Twitter. Check out his writing for ESPN. Literally always like putting in work. But yeah, so we're talking about Mexican players not migrating the right way. There, a lot of them are going back.
Whoa. Whoa.
Okay, that's taking out of context if you clip that. Players playing in Europe coming back to Mexico. Chucky Lozano linked to going to Saudi Arabia.
Ooh.
It's not pretty. It's not ideal. The chant getting yelled at the game and the ref not doing anything about it. Cohetes. 4th of July. ¿Qué güey? Me asusté.
Okay, come on.
And then a player got stabbed. Not
A player?
Not a player.
Oh,
not
my
a player.
God. Okay,
A fan got
false
stabbed.
news.
You're not going to show that, are you?
Yeah, no, 100%. I already got... have you seen it?
I have.
Cuando está chorreando?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, bro. It just wouldn't stop and just keeps putting water in it.
No,
It
he
just
was putting beer.
Yeah, I mean, it's alcohol, right?
Yeah.
It's alcohol. It'll cauterize, right? I mean, my thing is like after the guy, so for those who don't know, in the stands, a fan was stabbed because another fan brought a knife into a stadium. I can't bring my camera with two fucking lenses to Petco Park to take a picture of National University's dipshit ass fucking graduation event. Just the
49er
travesty.
security.
Anyway, so they allowed a knife in there. Somebody got stabbed.
Oh man, the beauty
And
of Mexico.
yeah, I mean, there's
games.
videos out there. Go look for it at your own risk. But no, dude got stabbed is like literally like gushing. But then he's trying to, he's in shock, putting water, putting alcohol, putting a thing
Yeah.
in. My thing is the cops come in, they don't even try to help him. They're trying to they're in shock too. Like, oh, what do we do? I really hope they got the guy.
I hope so too.
But anyway, so it unfortunately was more entertaining in the stands than what happened with Mexico because Mexico loses to Qatar. And with that, they go
They
into the
still-
first place to the semifinals. And guess what? Guess what, chicos?
What? Tell me.
México va a ganar
La Copa de
la
Oro.
Copa de Oro, papá. México va a ganar, papá. Mira,
Güey, fácil, güey.
100%.
Fácil.
Va a ser Estados Unidos contra Mexico, bro.
USA who's going to play the semifinal here at Snapdragon if they advance in the quarterfinal match.
Big if.
Although I'll tell you this though, for the US, this player, what's his name, Ferreira. It's the first player to score back-to-back hat tricks in USA matches. I mean, they beat. ¿A quién le ganaron? ¿Cómo se llamaban? Nieves, Saint Nitz and Nevis.
Sure.
6-0.
Okay.
Y luego también le ganaron a Trinidad y Tobago, 6-0.
Oh, Trinidad and Tobago powerhouse.
Yeah, so Pereira scored 3 goals, hat tricks in both games.
That's
so
crazy.
He's the top scorer in the Gold Cup right now.
It's always impressive when you can beat a national team comprised of 2 countries, Trinidad and Tobago.
Cabrón el pedo. Pero nosotros perdimos contra Qatar. A country.
CJ Fodry
not
interview incoming. Hopefully, we've reached out. Austin FC reached out to us. We've been in communication, so hopefully that happens. But yeah, I think we'll get to the spicy stuff of the Gold Cup when it comes up. We're gonna go ahead and cover whoever is gonna be here.
Stay
at
tuned
that
to see if we
semifinal.
get credentials for the semifinal.
100%. Hopefully we get credentials for the San Diego Loyal Dortmund game, which will be the next upcoming game for San Diego Loyal here at home, quote unquote. But yeah, I think, I mean,
Oh, no manches, los va a destruir Dortmund.
I really hope it's not like a 5-0.
No,
where
va a quedar
Loyal just
como
gets
8-0,
destroyed. Like just everybody's so
güey.
crestfallen. Like
8-0, güey.
Gio Reyna hat trick incoming.
¿Nos van a dar comida en ese juego?
Dude, Gio Reyna Gio Reyna switches his jersey halfway like a Chicharito style and joins San Diego Loyal.
No manches. No manches. Oh, man. But yeah, key takeaways from this episode. The new FIFA rules are stupid.
Yeah, if your body is completely clear of the player, that's offside. If not, that just changes everything. All those goals that should have been goals, you're telling me everything is a race now. So I like baseball. The rules never change. Season's greetings. Check it out. San Diego.futbol is the website. 2 balls and a mic is the name. We're going to be coming out with hopefully stuff we owe Esteban Toscano.
A video.
A video. We're going to do that and soccer video because, yes, we play soccer. And we have been playing soccer. But with that said, thank you for everybody who's joined us. You guys are the best. Season's greetings. Later.